My next guest is one of those rare people who's been able to turn the clock back on aging. I'm amazed for her passion for health and balanced energy. And today, actress Marilu Henner is sharing her secrets to staying slim and young for life. Please welcome my friend, Marilu. I like this move. This little move here.
Oh my gosh. I'm always so happy to see you.
I love seeing you.
And we're cousins, remember? From the Global Family Reunion.
It is true. We are related. I don't know how many generations ago, but
Doesn't matter.
My good fortune.
Yes, mine too. Absolutely. It's the cheekbones.
And the reason she knows that is she has an incredible memory, as you all know. Remembers everything, period. I'm not going to quiz you, though.
Okay.
I'm going to talk a little bit about what happened just about when you were starting Taxi, of course, an iconic program that you starred in. And there's a picture of you, actually.
Oh, I know.
Isn't that
I
pretty
know.
cool?
Well, that's the Taxi. Oh, my gosh. That was the first episode. That was shot on July the 14th of 1978. So,
oh my goodness.
First Friday.
But I'm sure, I do want to, since you're remembering that time, there was a major turning point I've read in your life that occurred right around then.
Yes, there was. Well, just to give you a little bit of a backstory, my father had died when I was a senior in high school. I was 17 at the time, he was 52. It was a horrible situation. We were having a huge dancing, we had a dancing school that we had in our backyard in the garage. He ended up having a heart attack during an argument with one of my brothers. It was terrible. He was wiped out in a second, and it was just like a horrendous thing to have happen to a family. Well, I found myself eating my feelings, so I became this stupid teenage yo-yo dieter. I'd go up and down, but I put on a lot of weight. And I was always battling my weight and my health. And then my mother took ill with arthritis because when you go through stress and everything else, it's like her body just became full-blown arthritis, a very inflammatory condition. And what happened to my mother, she was teaching dancing in December, went to bed with the flu in January. It was a brutal Chicago winter, so she ended up in the hospital. She had her leg amputated in April.
Oh, no.
And she died in May. And my mother died 2 weeks before I got Taxi, and the only time that I left her bedside was when I went to Los Angeles to audition for the part, and I'd go back and forth,
But you changed your life because of that.
Because I saw what my mother was going through in the hospital, and it seemed like no matter how many things they plugged into her, I mean, she had like these, it was like like a big water cooler bottle of fluid draining from her lungs that was the color of like Hawaiian Punch. It was this orangey color. They had 13 things hooked up to her, and I kept thinking, her body is still trying to rally. I mean, her body is still trying to make sense of this. If she gets out of here and lives, I'm going to do everything I can to learn about the human body and save her life. And if she dies, I'm going to do it for my brothers and sisters and me. So when she passed away, I became this obsessed student of health. And my habits were not good. I could play around with my weight, but I was not a healthy person. I was drinking practically 2 gallons of Tab a day. I was smoking. I was eating a lot of heavy meats, a lot of processed foods and stuff. And so I decided, because I think people are turkeys or wieners. Right. They either go cold turkey off of something or they wean themselves off of something. So I decided I was going to learn everything I could and change my life, and I made one step at a time.
So I've got some photos. There's a picture of you sort of before you made that change, which I've never seen before, but I think it's pretty compelling. There you are.
Yeah, that was 54 pounds heavier than I am today. So it's a big difference, and that was like I lost a little bit of weight and thought, oh, let's do a photo session. But and here's the thing. Some people, I felt uncomfortable. I knew I felt uncomfortable in my body. I knew it was coming not from, oh, I just love food and this is what I look like. It was coming from emotional things. And I think that the more we do 2 things. We get in touch with why are we maybe overeating? And then if we, as I always say, learn to love the food that loves you, it makes a tremendous amount of difference.
So let's fast forward.
Okay.
You've put the sexy back in sexagenarian, right?
Thank you, yes.
That's what we're all
I'm 63. I tell people my age all the time.
And you can't look any better.
Thank you.
So I want you to come over here. I want you to show people how you did that, all the wisdom that you're accumulating from years for understandable reasons. So you've divided pretty much the foods that you eat in one of 2 categories. Big secret here. And the secret between wet and concentrated foods and telling them apart is critical for folks to understand.
Absolutely. Well, wet food would be like anything that's got kind of a high water content. Because you can't eat a lot of heavy concentrated food, which we'll get into, and then just say, oh, I'm going to drink a lot of water. It doesn't work that way. Your body needs wet foods, things that have, so it's fruits and vegetables, salads, soups, things like that. Things that are going to give hydration to your body. And a lot of your diet should be like this because it helps, as I call it, take out the trash. I mean, every day you got to take out the trash. And if you're not eating wet foods with fiber, then what happens is the trash kind of stays there.
Now, concentrated foods aren't all bad. They're just different. So explain what these are.
They're different. Okay, so concentrated foods would be more things. Well, blueberries aren't concentrated.
Those are beans.
Oh, no, they were blueberries. You tricked me. All right, so it's animal proteins, of course, starches, heavier foods like beans and things. And they should be like your star on the plate. They should be like, and there's maybe only one star on that dressing room, on that dressing room door. Have that star in the center of your plate and then build your other foods around it. And the wet foods will help you digest the more concentrated foods. So if you're going to have, pasta, or you're going to have grains, or you're going to have a piece of chicken or whatever, then put the other wet foods around it. Don't have surf and turf. Don't make all of your foods heavily concentrated.
So I want to show you a little video. This is a big issue. It's a secret that Marilu's going to share with us, but it's all relative to something that we are all guilty of. Take a look. Look at that. This is all of you and how you eat.
Right. So see?
The bumblebee.
Yeah.
And you as fast as you can. These are real viewers who innocently sent these videos to us.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to do much searching to find out why so many of us are having problems. This gives a whole new meaning to fast food.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you see, look at that. Yeah, and you see parents feeding their kids like this, shoveling the food, and they're probably watching television or online, and the kids are like,
so why do you have to slow down to slim down?
Well, first of all, you slow down to slim down because if you chew your food, it sends a signal to your brain to start the digestive system, to start the digestive juices to help break down the food once it gets there.
In essence, you are supposed to drink your food, not chew it. So when you chew it up enough, it becomes liquefied enough that you're effectively doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to break it down into the little vitamins and everything else.
So digestion, it boosts nutrition absorption, less calories, and there's more because it gives you, if you keep doing this the right way, it actually boosts your ability to make more sense out of the food you're eating. Absolutely, and your brain goes, which, I'm usually I shovel it down in like 6 bites or something. I'm kind of full. So your brain gets the message as well. There's a drink that you actually love. Yes, that I want folks to think about making, the peppermint tea. Peppermint tea, it's like one of the easiest things. It's why people sometimes think like, oh, gum is going to give me digestion. Peppermint tea, oh, thank you. After you eat a meal, like, 20 minutes or something after you eat a meal, have some peppermint tea, and it's going to help you digest your food as well. And it makes a big difference. But there's something bigger, guys. When we come back, Marilu has a 5-second makeover for someone in our audience. It's the #1 free thing she says you can do to look slimmer and younger. Absolutely. Stay with us. We are back with actress Marilu Henner, who's cracked the code to staying slim and young for life. Just take a look at her. There's living proof. Now, she says it takes just 5 seconds and costs nothing to make over your entire body. So what is the #1 anti-aging beauty secret? Okay. It's got to be free in 5 seconds. Oh, absolutely. Okay, whenever I give a speech, I always say to my audience, okay, freeze. And everybody freezes, right? Don't move. Okay, don't move. And I say, if this were Pompeii and the lava started rolling in, is this how you would want to be remembered for all times? Because most people are like this when they're sitting, right? So I call it, I say, every once in a while throughout your day, just at your computer, you're on the phone, you're watching television, just freeze and do what I call the Pompeii posture check. And what you do is you say, oh, I don't want to be remembered that way, I'm going to do this. What most people don't realize is that your ears should be over your shoulders, and you have to think of your head as a bowling ball on a stack of plates. And if you're like this, that bowling ball's falling. You know what I mean? So you have just those little cartoon images will help. So let's take a little survey of our audience. Of course, we can't do it now because they're all, look how perfectly they're as erect as they can possibly be. So we did something different. We got some paparazzi photos backstage as they were coming into the audience. And Pompeii actually erupted backstage and caught a couple of you. Take a look at this member of our audience. Oh, yeah. I think her name is Danielle. Is that right, Danielle? Danielle, are you here? That looks like you. I can't quite. Come on over here. Okay, come on over here. Let's talk about that posture here. Now, when you look at that picture, what do you see?
Not good posture. I'm slouching. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, look at that bowling ball and the stack.
That's awful.
So come over here. Look, I want you just to do this. Look in the mirror. Okay. Turn this way sideways. And Marilu, just take it through an exercise how folks can tell what their posture should be. Absolutely. All right. If you imagine that there's this imaginary line down the center of your body, and I learned from studying macrobiotics and many other disciplines that it's like the bigger the front, the bigger the back. Yeah. So your body will constantly be trying to make adjustments. If you're slouched like this,
you're going to get this in order to balance it. Or if you're like that, you're going to get, your body, your feet are splayed. That's what's going to happen. And I think that's what happened to you in your picture.
Yes.
You're not even aware of it. So if you just constantly think like ears over shoulders, you know what I'm saying? And not where you're like sticking out your rib cage, but you just try to imagine this imaginary plumb line down the center of your body, you are going to be so much better.
So look in the mirror and see if you're happy with that posture.
And it's more confident.
Yes, it's more
All right,
confident.
now compare that to the picture from before. I'm just gonna put it side by side.
Look at that.
So
Wow,
All
what a
right.
difference. Yeah, and when somebody meets you in a second and six, I think it's 1.6 or 2.6 seconds, they take a snapshot of you. And if you're like this, then that's what they see.
Well, it's even worse. They did a study and they showed that people who carry themselves tall are less likely to get mugged than people who are slouching. It was a big deal.
That is a big
Wow.
deal.
So even if say safe, be the person you want to be.
Yes.
And look in the mirror and confirm it.
Right.
Yes.
I hope that helps you. Marilu, thank you very, very
Thank
much.
you.
Makes you feel younger
Yeah.
too.
No, it makes a big difference.
All right, everybody.
Thank you.
Stand up straight. Pay attention to what Marilu said. Thank you for all the advice. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos to live the good life.